morning, everyone. Our topic for today is all about volcano and earthquake. First, let's explore what is volcano. Here is our objectives and what is volcano. A volcano is like a natural opening on the Earth's surface. From this opening, hot molten rock called lava. We have also gases, ashes, and steam can burst out during an eruption of a volcano. Now, think of a volcano like a bottle of soda or a bottle of Coke. If we shake it and open the cap of a bottle, it explodes and bubbles out. The earth also releases pressure this way, but instead of soda, it's lava and gases. Let's proceed. Ring of fire. The ring of fire is a horseshoe-shaped area around the edges of the Pacific Ocean. So this is the Pacific Ocean. This area is known for having a lot of volcanoes and earthquakes. It stretches about 40,000 kilometers and includes about 452 volcanoes, making it one of the most active volcanoes on Earth or most active places on Earth. So it runs through like Chile, the US, the Japan, New Zealand, and also the Philippines. The Philippines is also part or located here sa Ring of Fire. It is because makita nato this is the Philippines and it is surrounded by many active volcanoes. So here in the Philippines, we also have active volcanoes like Mayon volcano, we have Taal volcano, and also Canlaon volcano, which is part of Visayas, right? Now, how are they formed? So, giunsa pag forma ang volcano? So, volcanoes are mostly formed at the edges of tectonic plates. So those huge pieces of the Earth's surface that move slowly. So when two plates collide, pag makollide, that is kanang gitawag nato convergent. So one of them can slide under the other. So mag-ana sila hana. Gitawag na natog subduction. So this makes the rock melt into magma because of the heat and pressure. That magma rises and eventually bursts through the surface. That's when a volcano is burned. Kaya magsumpaki man tong iyahang tectonic plates. Then, there are also key parts of volcano. We have the vent is the opening where magma comes out. We have here an anatomy of volcano. So here, natay duha ka pictures. This is the vent, kani. Muna siya ang vent. This is the opening where magma comes out. This is what we call the crater, the bowl shape that top of a volcano. We have also the lava. When it flows, muna siya gitawag natog lava flow. Then, lava, this is the magma that reaches the surface of the volcano. We have the seal, then the side vent. Side vent, this is also an opening but naa siya sa side sa volcano. We have ash fall, ash clouds, and the gases nga CO2, H2O, and SO2. These are rock layers of the Earth's crust, the magma chamber. Then, same man ni sila. Then, naray uban nga part sa volcano nga wala diri per na this because picture mo na akong siyang tiduwa. Then, This is the lava dome, the pyroclastic flow, and the conduit. Napod tay mga landslide diring dapita which is katong mga gitawag og debris avalanche and cumulus. Now we have the pyroclastic flow kanin dinhi. Pyroclastic flow is also dangerous because it is a fast, hot cloud of ash, dust, and rocks during the violent eruption. So, ang pyroclastic flow is composed siya sa ash, gas, and rocks. That's why dangerous siya. Then, next is viscosity. So, viscosity, the property of a fluid that resists the force tending to cause the fluid to flow. This means that how thick or thin a liquid is. Ang viscosity, either baga or nipis ang iyahang liquid. So, honey has high viscosity. Water has low or low ang iyahang viscosity. So, we also have magma. So, magma, a hot molten rock under the ground. Then the lava, this is the fluid rock or the magma that has erupted onto the surface. So, gikan siya sa volcano or volcanic vent. Ito siya lava. So, again, ang magma is, muna gitawag nato nga magma na siya sa sulod or under sa ground sa volcano. Then pag mugawas na siya, muna siya gitawag nato lava. Then we also have the ash. Ash is the powdery residue of matter that remains after burning. So it is a fine powder that comes from burning materials or during eruptions. Makita din nato sa picture, this is the ash cloud. Muni ang ash flow. So, colored gray ang iyahang clouds. Then we have caldera. This is a large crater formed by volcanic eruption or by collapse of a volcanic cone. So, a large crater, so when a volcano collapses after a big eruption, that is caldera. Now, let's proceed sa magma chamber, a reservoir where magma is stored beneath the volcano. So, the magma chamber is this one. Kani, na-store siya sa sulod sa volcano. We also tackled about the ash cloud, then conduit, a pipe-like structure that connects the magma chamber of the surface. So, this is what we call the conduit. Kani. Seal, flat rock formation that forms when molten magma cools and solidifies in crack or fissure. Kani siya ang seal. Crack, fissure. Then, crater, tackle na nato, and also cone, steep conical shaped hill or mountain formed by layers of volcanic material. So, this side is what we call cone. Then, lava. This is the lava. Now, let's proceed sa volcanoes can be one of three phases. So, sa other subject, natakol nato ang duhara kabuk niya, which is active and inactive volcanoes. But here, naaday siya three phases sa volcano. We have the active volcanoes, dormant volcanoes, and extinct volcanoes. Active volcanoes, this is what we call erupting or might erupt soon. So, example is Mount St. Helens in the USA. So, there is a past eruptions nga nahitabo niya in the past 10 years. So, active siya. Dormant volcanoes quiet now but could erupt in the future. When we say dormant, there is a possibilities nga mag-erupt siya. Now, we have extinct volcanoes. So, extinct volcanoes has not erupted in a long time and likely never will. So, extinct volcanoes, these are volcanoes nga inactive. Kanang wala siya in the past 10 years niya, wala siya mga kanang na
mga signs nga mo.
Oh, yes. Wala po siya napabalita nga ni erupt. So, example is the Mount Ashitaka in Japan. So, this is also active volcanoes. As you can see, naa siya ash cloud. Very good. We have the dormant volcano. This is the Mount Rainier in the USA and extinct volcano in Mount Ashitaka in Japan. We have the hot spring and geysers. So the hot spring, this is the warm water that naturally comes out of the ground. This is the example of the hot spring. So, naa siya, smaller kayo siya, and this is kanang spring of mineral water. Temperature niya is 21 degrees Celsius with 7 degrees Fahrenheit or above paana niya. Then we also have geysers. Geysers is the hot spring that shoots water and steam into the air. So, mo ni siya ang example sa geysers. Naa siya fountain, like jets of water. Then, this is types of volcano. The flat or plateau basalts, mga shield volcanoes, cinder cone, composite or stratovolcano, volcanic dome, and caldera. But, let's discuss about the major types of volcanoes. We have shield volcanoes, composite volcanoes, and cinder cone volcanoes. Now, what is shield volcanoes? This is the wide and gently sloping. Lava flows slowly but travels far. So example of this is the Mauna Loa in Hawaii. We have composite volcanoes. Tall, so it means taas siya. Cone shape, kanay ana niya, cone shape. The made of layers of ash and lava. So eruptions can be explosive. Kaya na siya. So example of this composite volcanoes is the Mount Fuji in Japan and Mount Mayon in the Philippines. We also have cinder cone volcanoes. So, this is small but steep. Erupts violently, throwing ash and rocks. Example of these cinder cone volcanoes is the Paricutin in Mexico. So, this is the three major types of volcanoes. Lain-lain siya shape. We have causes of volcanic eruption. So, when the Earth's lower crust, or ang itawag nga lower crust or kung ang iyahang mantle magmelt, it forms magma. So, pressure from gases and heat pushes magma up. So, what kind of gases are in magma and how do they cause eruptions? So, as ako gipakita kanina nga picture, we have gases nga H2O or water vapor, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, then napo day siya hydrogen sulfide and chlorine and fluorine gases. So, how do these gases causes a volcanic eruption? So, deep underground pressure builds because the gases are trapped inside the magma. So, if this is the crust and this is the mantle, nasa tungaan ang magma, ang kuan niya, mga gases, pag hot, it is mutaas jud ang pressure. As the magma rises closer to the surface, kung ang magma, pag rise niya, ang pressure mo decrease and the gases expand. When the pressure is too strong, the gas forces the magma to explode out of the volcano, just like a shaken soda bottle. So that is how do these gases cause a volcano to erupt. And we have several processes and associated with mechanism of volcano. Now, at gradual increase of temperature, naatay ang iyang Celsius for every 32 minutes will increasing and gases and vapors are formed due to the heating of water. Let's proceed sa effects of volcanic eruptions. Naapod tayo mga primary effects of volcanic eruption. So, ang primary effects niya is happens immediately after eruptions. Or kanang during sa eruption pa. So, naa din ha ang mga lava flows, ashfall, volcanic gases, and also mga pyroclastic flows kani. These secondary effects happen later but can be just as dangerous kasi secondary naman siya. So, natay lahars, mga mixture of water, rock, ash, and sand. Then we have landslide, flooding, lava or ash can block rivers or change land surfaces. Then other secondary effects include the food and water supply interrupted, homelessness, business forced to close, cost of insurance claims, unemployment, and long-term issues with the tourism industry. Ang secondary effects include kani sila tanan, this happens if duol ka sa volcano. Misag mga layo-layo na gali, maabot pa man sa mga ashfall. Kay kung asa paingon ang hangin, dito man pod paingon ang ashfalls. So, example, katong the eruption of Mount Pinatubo in 1991. So, kato siya nga eruption, nag-cause good to siya of major ashfall, lahars, and affected thousands of lives and homes. So, sa kanlaon, ang apektaran ato is panginabuhi sa mga tao diol atong volcano, katong mga homes nga nagpuyo ato nga kanlaon volcano, and also katong mga tao nga misag layo na sa kanlaon na abtan Japan sa ashfall. Kato siya. So, is there any questions about volcanoes?
None, ma'am.
None? So, let's proceed to earthquake.
Now, we'll proceed to journey into earthquake science. What is an earthquake? So, an earthquake, also known as tremor or timblor, is the phenomenon where there is a sudden release of extreme energy from the earth crust, resulting in shaking and displacement of the ground, along with the creation of the seismic waves. So, this energy release creates seismic waves. Large earthquakes with offshore epicenters can displace the seabed, causing tsunamis. Earthquakes can also cause loss of life and destruction of property. So, the shaking caused by earthquakes can lead to significant loss of life, as I said, and damage property. Strong earthquake can cause violent ground shaking, causing building to fall or collapse.
Yeah.
And also landslide can also be possible nga mahitabo.
Yes.
Where is the earthquake? So in an earthquake, there is the seismic waves. So asa man ang seismic waves ani kani? Gapa kuan siya outward. So here is the fault. Muni siya fault. And here is the focus. So ang epicenter is naa siya sa taas sa focus. So makasabot tara?
Yes.
Why do earthquakes occur? So, nganong na ay earthquake? So, first is geological faults, volcanic eruptions, mine blast, and nuclear test. So, geological faults, a fault is a planar fracture or discontinuity in a volume of rock across which there has been significant displacement. So, in geological faults, there are three main types. So first is the normal fault, second is the thrust fault, and the strike slip fault. There are types of faults. So first, let's define what is faults. Faults are fractures or cracks in the earth's crust where movement occurs. So faults, mahitabo na siya if ang yuta is na-crack. So there is where movement occurs. So nanay movement nga nahitabo. So faults have three types. So, normal faults, thrust faults, strike slip faults. So first, let's define what is normal faults. So normal faults occur when the crust is extended. The hanging wall moves downward relative to the foot wall. So extended ra ang iyahang crust. Next is the thrust faults. Thrust faults occurs when the crust is compressed. The hanging wall moves upward relative to the foot wall. So ga-compress ang iyahang crust. Strike-slip faults. So strike-slip faults occur when the fault surface is usually near vertical and motion results from shearing forces. Let's move forward or proceed to the magnitude of an earthquake. So first, let's define what is magnitude. So magnitude is a measure of the energy released by an earthquake. So the Richter scale is used to measure the magnitude of an earthquake ranging from 0 to 10 or more. So mo ni siya the Richter scale. So magsugod siya sa 0 to 9 and over or 10 or more. So first is 0 is can be detected by only seismograph. To the 9 and overs or near total destruction waves moving through the earth is visible with naked eye. Pinakauna is dili pa ta ka-feel. Wala pa tay ma-feel nga earthquake nga nahitabo. So next is each whole number increase the scale represents a tenfold increase in the amplitude of the seismic waves. Next is the classification of earthquakes. So here is the magnitude and its classification. So kung magnitude 1.0 is ultra micro earthquake. And if 1.0 and 3.0 is micro earthquake, and 3.0 to 5 between 5.0 is small earthquake, and if 5.0 between 7.0 is moderate earthquake, and 7.0 between 8.0 is the major or the large earthquake, and 8.0 is the great earthquake effects of earthquakes. So here is the effects of earthquakes. So possible nga mahitabo sa during earthquakes. So primary earthquake hazards. So rapid ground shaking. So example of rapid ground shaking is the structural damage. So possible nga mga guba ang ato ang structured, mga balay, mga buildings. Yes. So next is the buckled roads. Possible pod nga mga guba ang road. So there are possible nga naay ka ng mga accident nga mahitabo cause of buckled roads sa earthquake, during earthquake. So next is the secondary earthquake hazards. One of the examples are landslides, the fire resulting from an earthquake. Next is the tsunami. So in tsunami, there are tsunami or seismic sea waves or the tidal waves 65 magnitude can grow up to. So one of the example here in tsunami is the Chedi Resort in Phuket, Thailand. Next is the measuring earthquakes. Seismometers or instruments that detect seismic waves. So here is the kuan mo ni itsura sa unsa na seismometer. So here is this is the heavy mass or the motion. And also mo po ni siya pen nga mo detect sa kuan kung unsa ka kusog ang earthquake. The seismographs or record intensity, height and amplitude of seismic waves. So here as mo ni kuan isa na seismograph. So, let's have an earthquake monitoring. It means it is to monitor the earthquake. So here is the identification of fault lines. So one of the example is in New Madrid, Tennessee. Second is the San Andreas fault line. Now, remote seismograph positioning. So these are the seismograph. Scientists consider seismic activity as it is registered on a seismometer. So a volcano will usually register some small earthquakes as the magma pushes its way up through cracks and vents in rocks. As a volcano gets closer to erupting, the pressure builds up in the earth under the volcano and the earthquake activity becomes more frequent. Next is, so muna yung itsura sa analog. So, muna siya ay analog image. So, this is an image of an analog recording of an earthquake. So, matawag siya nga quiescence if ang iyahang kuan is flat. Flat ang iyang line. Muna siya ay quiescence. So, ang kuan is, ang tawag ani is squiggly line. Next is the digital seismogram. So, below is a digital seismogram. The data is stored electronically, easy to access and manipulate, and much more accurate and detailed than the analog recording. So now, let's have seismic waves. So seismic waves are the energy waves that radiate outward from an earthquake's epicenter. So for an example is, this is the epicenter. So epicenters of the earthquake. So ang energy is nagkalayo. So mauna siya ay seismic waves. So now, there are three main types of seismic waves. First is the primary waves. So a primary wave is called compressional or push or pull. So for an example is, this is an object or kuan. If imo na siyang i-push and pull, it propagates the parallel to the direction in which the wave is moving. So next is the secondary waves. Secondary waves is called shear waves. Propagate the movement perpendicular to the direction in which the wave is moving. So, ang iyahang move is ginana. Mura siya uga balod-balod. Surface waves. So, surface waves complex motion. Up and down, side to side. So, for an example is kanang mauni nga object. So, muna siya ay surface. So, ang surface is the up and down siya. Taas, then ubos. And then, side by side. Nakasabot ra?
Yes.
So, most damage to structures, buildings. Those are the three main types of seismic waves. Is there any questions for clarifications?
None.
If that's so, then let's end our discussion. So, thank you.